Okay, we are live. All right, welcome
Right.
back to. Um, yeah,
Go on, go on.
you can go ahead. All right. Okay, I was just going to say, welcome back to another episode of AI Pro. Right. So the whole purpose of this learning challenge is to just give you the fundamental knowledge of this defined technology of our time, right? And as usual, we'll have a guest with us. Last week we had Samuel, and today have my Oga, my mentor.
There you go.
we have Salim. So I'll just hand over to Salim to take over, and he's just going to, yeah, we're going to gist for a little bit, then we'll get right into what we have for today. So yeah, maybe Salim will just introduce himself to us first before we start.
All right. Thank you very much. I can go ahead now, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Um, do I need an introduction? My name is Salim Oyinlola, like Abdullah rightly said. I'm a Microsoft student ambassador. And I'm just going to start by thanking Abdullah for giving me the opportunity to come on here. Um, I went through the episode with Samuel, and I must say, Samuel has set the bar so high for me here today. And I'm looking forward to it. It's amazing what you're doing here. So that you're dedicated to making sure people learn about these things. Obviously, AI is such a, I mean, this 2024, 2023, 2024, AI is that thing that everyone is talking about. Everyone is talking about AI. It's the next best thing for enterprise. And I must say, well done. And I look forward to having an amazing session with you.
All
Um,
right.
should I share my screen now or are we ready to
Yeah.
go?
Okay, you can share your screen, but before we get into it, you can just tell us a little bit about your recent projects that you've been doing beyond beyond what is it called?
Beyond the classroom.
Yeah. Okay, just us a little bit about that.
Right here. Oh, good question. So beyond the classroom goes by the motto telling stories, inspiring tech careers, and these stories are told by students. Obviously, in this Unilag tech ecosystem, I've been in this school for 5 years. I'm my fourth year, but I've been here for 5 years, okay? And in those 5 years, something that's been
Or six
reoccurring,
F.
actually six. It's just six actually. And something that I've constantly noticed in those 6 years has been the fact that there are a lot of students doing amazing things with their tech careers. And then these students, like just students, and beyond the classroom, literally, they're doing amazing things. I have a couple of friends that are working for multinationals, a couple of guys working for Fortune 500 companies, whilst being students. And it's not methods. Like you might be like, oh, it's not an easy thing, right? For you to be a student, you would attest to how rigorous working and how it was being a student here is okay. And students are now
Yeah.
doing that. That means like the students out there in the federal university, and then you're also working, right? Literally what that means is that they're geniuses. Doesn't no major that's exactly what it means, okay? And it's really amazing. And I believe that these stories or these students should have their stories told. Like we should tell your stories. Okay, X and Y is doing this and that, and it's amazing. You're probably wondering why should we tell these stories, okay? The reason why we have to tell these stories is so that we can inspire that random person that's looking to start off their tech career with that. It's like the Yoruba saying that and have you not been to someone else's dad's farm? You would think your dad's farm is the biggest. Just being able to like let people know about these opportunities. Okay, you can be a student and work at Goldman Sachs. You can be a student and work at JP Morgan. You can be a student and you've gone to Google. You've worked at Meta. These big companies that we all look to work at one day, right? So that's the whole point of beyond the classroom. Just
Yeah.
having the students come on board, tell their stories. It's more of an interview, but I like to think about it as a storytelling experience. You come on, you tell your story, the challenges in your journey, such that we can all relate to those challenges. Um, and when we're done with that, just have a good conversation. To be honest, it's no more than two students having the conversation fundamentally. But yeah, that's what we did at Beyond the Classroom. And I must say, the support has been amazing thus far. It's been amazing, including yourself, right? I want to thank you publicly for the support. It's been amazing. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah, definitely. Like you know, in tech has been like a kind of thing that okay of recent a lot of people have been going into, right, and just a lot of people being
Right.
encouraged to go into it, and it's not easy. It's not easy, right? It's not
It's
easy.
not. It's not. It's
So
not.
it's a really beautiful project what you are doing. Putting these stories out there, these success stories out there with people that are really in your environment to like really show you that definitely it can work, right? That just keep going, it can actually work. It has actually worked for people, and don't worry, it's also work for us as well, right? Yeah. So like
See me
it's a really
blushing.
beautiful project, and I'm happy to support in any way that I can. Always,
Thank you
so
very
like
much.
it's
It
a
is
really
so
good
so.
project, really. So like, hopefully I'll just have the link in the description as well, right? Because like it's a really great thing and really also really funny, like as Salim and it is as Salim was doing the interviews in this is beautiful. If you see the track, if you see the track there that my friend was wearing, all those caps. Me, I'm coming to come and take my own shot. All those caps. Okay. Oh. The
How
next
to
one
rep
I'm
the
there.
Yoruba culture.
I have to be there.
How to rep the culture for the culture.
Huh?
I said how to rep the culture.
What about Yoruba now? You might not. Yeah, I know. I said what about Yoruba. You might not actually know that. I think people don't usually know that because of my name. But yeah, so definitely sure.
Oh wow. All right then, that's
All right.
calm.
So yeah, you
That's
you
calm.
can
Thank you
share.
very much for the. It means a lot, so much to me that you think it's an amazing idea. Thank you very much. So I can present
Yeah, you can
now,
share.
yeah.
So
Okay then.
yep.
Let's get this. So give me a second, please. Let me know when you can start.
Yeah. Yeah. It's up.
Right. Awesome. So basically, in this session, we're going to walk through this module, and afterwards, we touch on this other module. And when Abdullah told me about these two modules, I can't lie, I was really excited. It's been a while since I last went through the Azure AI services, and it would be amazing for me to just walk through them with Abdullah and everyone else. Hopefully, if you have questions, we will both answer the questions and move from there. So just building on what Samuel has touched on, I would like to start by talking about Azure, the big umbrella of Azure. What is Azure exactly? Why are cloud platforms so important? And how does cloud platforms even work? So the perfect analogy I tend to draw whenever I'm talking about platforms is these NEPA meters. You know the prepaid meters, right? Similar to prepaid meter with cloud platforms like Microsoft Azure, you buy your prepaid, you buy your kilowatts hour, you buy your power. This one you buy what's it called? You buy your Azure credit. Having gotten your Azure credits, you have it there. And then based on the services you're using, the Azure credit starts going from, let's say I bought an $100 worth of Azure credits, it goes all the way down based on the service I'm using. If I'm running X and Y application on Azure service, it goes down at X and Y amounts. Similarly, if I were to on all the lights in my house, perhaps I turn on the refrigerator, the washing machine is running, all of that is going on. You would agree with me that my before you know what's happening, my NEPA meter is already doing the beep, tun, 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 right? And similarly, that's how cloud platforms work as well. You have your Azure credits based on the service, right? It decreases until you hit bottom zero. So Azure, Microsoft, I think Microsoft these days are more of an AI company than a software company. And because they're so big on AI, they have taken the extra step of making sure the Azure AI services are top notch. Okay, so let's just walk through the Azure AI services. We start from Azure here. The objective of this module is such that when we are done, rather, you would understand the applications that the Azure AI services can be used to build. You understand how to access the Azure AI service in the Azure portal. You understand how the Azure AI service key and endpoints two-factor authentication works, and able to create and use an Azure AI service in a content safety studio setting. But before we get to that, I have a little application I built with Azure. So I call it. It's been a while I worked for this project, but I call it my Netflix for Azure. So the idea is you have a lot of Azure services. So it's that place where you can go and then pick any Azure service. I've worked on this as a Flask app here. You come on here and then you pick the Azure service. The major reason why I'm bringing this on is just to show us what you can do with Azure AI services. So we have four services here. I think the first one is not yet. He had a bug, but I've not really fixed it up to now. So let's just work with the translator first. Um, and it's very important to note that these applications under the hood, what you have under the hood is what we are going to learn today. Nothing more than the Azure services that's working under this. So this is a translator app, and let me say my name is Salim, and I am glad to learn about artificial intelligence. Okay, so let's translate this to Portuguese. Okay, and we translate. It's taking a while, but basically we've seen that I've translated this from this to this, and the language is Portuguese. Similarly, we could summarize the text. We could have sentiment analysis and all that. But for the sake of time, I will not go through each of them. But basically, this is just for us to understand the worth of the plethora of options of, or should I say, Azure AI services that are available for us. So back to this module. The summary of what this module is telling us is that AI is changing our world. If I were to take a poll of, there's so many amazing things you could do with AI, like so many amazing things. Earlier today, I took a picture. I took a picture of this place. I took a picture of work, and I needed to have the pictures. When I took the picture, it was a building, but then there were some people walking by the building, and I did not like the fact that people were there, and I was able to edit the people out of it. Like that's not okay. That's what AI does. That's the kind of things that you would see in sci-fi movies. Being able to translate from any language to any language, that's not normal. That's not what you see every day, and that's what AI does. I'm not sure if it's Steve Jobs or someone. Someone once defined AI as anything you can imagine, and the very nature of our imaginations is that it's extremely wide. Okay, so you can imagine anything, and then being able to bring whatever that imagination is to life is almost always AI. Okay, and I'm going to work with that using the Azure AI service. This is simply an introductory module into what AI is. And in the next slide here, we're going to talk about AI in the context of the Azure platform. So Azure, they give you three different things. Um, the translator app, for instance, right? If I wanted to build a translator app by writing machine learning code, I first of all need to get a very large data set. Okay, the data set will have two columns. First column will be texts in English, and second column will be text in Portuguese, right? And then I'll need to train my model on a notebook. You need feature engineering to be an extremely gruesome process, grueling process rather. I would have sleepless nights, bugs will be on me. And at the end of the day, the model will still hallucinate. It will still not be, it won't be exactly that good unless I'm crazy good at what I do. And all that stress is what Azure AI takes away from you. So it works on three principles. It's pre-built and ready to use. So I don't need to go to the kitchen and start cooking from the beginning. They're cooked. All I need to go is just go and serve myself. Okay. Then you have access to these APIs that they've built, and these APIs are available on Azure only. Okay. Um. So so the basic idea is I'll go to my Azure portal. Once I go there, I'll create a service. Once I create that service, it is unique to my own Azure account, and then they'll give me a key. It's like you can think of it as somebody running a restaurant. They've cooked already, and then you go to the restaurant. It's like, assuming it's a buffet, right? You go there, you take the food you want, take the food you want. You want to go and serve it to some other people, right? You take the food you want, but then for you to now be able to serve that food to those you want to serve, perhaps I'm taking it home. I want to have the food as takeout for dinner, right? For me to be able to serve the food at home, imagine the restaurant now tells you, okay, oh, come and take this password. Unless you use this password, that person cannot have access to that food. That's exactly what it is. So if I were to build a machine learning model, it's as though I am in the kitchen and I'm cooking from scratch. I'm buying pepper, I'm buying X and Y and whatnot, okay? But then with Azure, the food has been cooked. I'll just go down and be like, okay, oh, good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma. Can I have X and Y? Okay, I'd like to have this rice, that rice, Nigerian jollof, not Ghana jollof. I have all that, and then from there, they'll now give me a pin, an access key that is unique to just myself. So if Abdullah was coming to get food after me, he's not getting the same pin I'm getting. He's getting another pin entirely, okay? And that's what Azure AI service does. Um, Going on to the next slide. I think for more context, if I can, I would like to show how we build an Azure service here live. Okay. So an Azure service, you can see the portal here. You know what? I'm just going to go all the way. I'll go through this slide, and afterwards, I'll go to the Azure account and I'll walk us through creating a random Azure service. Now, before I do that, there's some things called Azure resources. So when you create an Azure account, you have a subscription. Think of it as like when you buy um I keep forgetting what this is. When you buy power, what is not power? I just not power. But then when you buy
Okay.
when you get it from NEPA or PHCN, that process, the distribution company, when you buy that, that's your subscription. And on your account, you can have multiple subscriptions. Let's say, and there's a reason why you can have multiple subscriptions. Let's say I have my account, I work for X and Y company, and I also have projects by myself. So I can have two different subscriptions in that sense. The company has their own subscription that runs, and I have my own subscription. Okay. So there are different payment deals for both of them. Okay. Within my subscription, I can now have a resource group. What the resource group does is that from this thing I've shown you here, we have a translator, we have a sentiment analyzer, we have a long text summarizer, we have an optical character recognizer. All four of them are under four different resources. What is working under the hood is four different resources. Now I can now be like, let me group all of these resources together. That's exactly what we call a resource group, a group of resources together. And the logic behind having a resource group is simple. Let's say next tomorrow I wake up and I don't like this entire application. No, I just don't want it again. Instead of me going to go and this individual resources, I can just this entire group. That's exactly what a resource group is. I mentioned this because I think that's something that they are very intentional about testing in the Azure 900, AZ900. They talk about a lot what a resource group is, and I think that knowledge will also be helpful in the AI 900 exam as well. So a resource group is a group of resources. Just have X and Y resource, A and B resource, M and M resource rather, and then you have a group of all of that together. That's when you have a resource group. Okay, back to the slide. So that's the summary of what's happening here. And then on that, so it's like a tree sort of. And top of the tree or pyramid, if you will, is the subscription. Underneath we have resource group, and at the bottom we have Azure AI resources. And then we see a couple of them here. Okay. So let's go into the next one. So once you create an Azure AI resource, you can build applications using the REST API or using the SDK or the Visual Studio interface. I recommend that with my application here, I use the SDK. That's the software development kit. So Azure allows you to build your software in all three. You can use any of the three ways for you to build your software. When you have a resource, let's say I think the resource we have is content safety. Each resource has a region assigned to it. The idea of a region is simple. Azure as a company or Microsoft as a company that builds Microsoft Azure cloud services. These cloud services are assigned to a data center. These data centers are in different locations. Last time I checked, I think there's just one data center in Africa. It's in South Africa, okay? And when you build a resource, you have to assign that resource to a data center. Where that data center is called the region. So you see in this instance here, the data center is east west. There are different pricing tiers. You can have the free, you have the premium, you have standard. I'll touch more on that as we go on. I really want to have a live demo session where I actually just create a resource and we get to see what that is like. I feel like me talking about it right now, it makes it a bit big as of now. Okay, so authentication. Authentication, by definition of authentication, is just being able to How do I put this now? When you create an Azure service, or let me go back to the kitchen and restaurant analogy I gave earlier on. When I buy food from a vendor, a restaurant, and then the vendor or restaurant gives me a key, a pin, your unique password, that pin they give you, that you need to yourself. Because only me, I'm the only one who has that, right? And because I'm the only one that has that, I can have my authentication done easily. Because you can, but because if I can produce that pin, that means it's me. I mean, you give me something, it's my custody. That means ideally, barring any form of cyber security concerns, ideally, I should be the only one to be able to produce that pin that's been provided to me, right? And that's exactly what we're talking about here. Again, I really want to go through the demo. Once I go through the demo, this becomes much more easier for us to understand. And finally, we have an exercise here. Rather than doing the exercise live, I'll just create the account myself. I'll just create the service myself. We'll walk through it, and I'm not sure I want to do these tests. I don't want to fail in public. But first of all, let's go through the um, Azure service. Let's just create an Azure service first. So we'll go to the Azure AI service rather. So first of all, we open the Azure AI. Okay, sorry. Why this is coming on? Let's try these questions actually. Maybe I feel like you. All right. So what is an Azure? Let's have number three. What is an Azure AI service? So it's a bundle of several services in one resource. Is that correct? Bundle of several AI services. An AI service that requires this. It's a single service resource for. So the answer for this is A. After logging into one of the Azure studios, which is the most important practice you can use in the studio, I've not touched on this yet, so we'll piggyback to this. Um, Hold on, give me a second, please. Okay, an application that requires three different services. To see the cost of each service, what kind of service do you need? The most service will include all single. So I think it should be A. Well, let's go to this. All right, so yeah, we're going to create a resource. And this is my Azure portal. So I'm just going to walk us through the step of creating a resource and how it works with the application. So we come here. I want to create let's say I want to create a translator app. Come to translator. So I'm just create a translator app. What I actually need to create is a translator here. So I'll touch on the translator resource and see here it says create. And and then I've created a couple of resource groups here. So we see my resource groups are existing already. So I can create a new one. So I think I'll add this one. And the region, I talked about the region earlier on. That's the so the idea with region is you want to make sure the region you're picking is the one that's closest to you. Currently in Lagos, Nigeria. So I think I'll go with anyone in Africa. You have them here. We have some African notes here. I'll go with that. Let us name it April AI. Salim resource. It's important that your name is unique to yourself. I can't create this thing. I can't create a resource with a name. Pricing fair. I don't have money. Let's go free. Yeah. So then you review and then you create. And basically that's it. That's exactly what it means for us to create an Azure resource. With that done, if you have any questions on this module, be sure to let me know. And let's just run through the second module. Second module is going to be a bit longer, so let's walk through. Computer vision. Computer vision is also one of those. It's this subset of AI, and the subset such that anything you can see. Basically, what computer vision does is it gives your computers, as the name implies, it gives the ability gives it vision abilities. Okay, it gets to see things, and that's what exactly what computer vision service of AI does. It is one of the core areas of artificial intelligence. And it focuses on creating solutions that enables AI applications to see anything that has to do with you seeing. If you have an application that even it sees a picture, it can count the number of people there. Is there computer vision? Is there computer vision solution? It is because it has to see the picture first. Then it can decipher what's happening in the picture, and it can be like, oh, there's 7 men here and 3 ladies. That's computer vision. Anything that gives your computer the ability to see. If you have a simple application that can take in a picture of an animal and it can tell me if the animal is a dog or is a cat. That's computer vision. You have an application that can take in a picture of a food item and it can tell me if it is amala or it is rice. That is computer vision. Of course, computers do not have biological eyes the way we all do, but then they are capable of processing images either from a live camera feed or from digital photographs or videos. All right. I like this. Critically, fundamentally, when we're talking about pictures in general, about images, quality, something that comes up a lot is the concept of pixels. Okay, and I'm not talking about the phone type now. Okay, so pixels is how do I explain pixels? But basically, let's see what I have here. An array consists of 7 rows and 7 columns, representing pixel values of 7 by 7 image pixels. You'd imagine if you have more pixels, you have higher definition. The more pixels you have, the higher the definition, or the better your image is. If you have an extremely high pixel image, the image resolution is extremely high, and your picture quality is just good. It's extremely good because it defines the most minute details of the image. Basically, that's what it does. When you have a simple black and white grayscale picture, it's not so defined. I think a grayscale picture is a 3 by 3 pixel image. As such, it's not exactly the most high resolution picture out there. Okay, and pixels go from 0 to 255. There are 256 pixels, or yeah, pixel values. I'm sorry, not pixel values. So we have 0 representing black and 255 representing white. Not to bore us with all of that. Let us go straight to basically all we have in this entire slide is just from my recollection of the AI 900 exam rather. I don't think we tested on what a pixel is or what the pixel value of 255 means or 150 means. Okay, so don't you? I mean, you read this for the knowledge part of it. However, don't spend too much time on this. Let's talk about machine learning for computer vision. All right. So, interesting. I love it. Wow, I love this. Wonderful. All right. So, what the slide is doing is, earlier on I talked about how if you're building AI solutions, you can either use Microsoft Azure's already created service, or you could start from scratch and then you go to the kitchen yourself. You buy everything you need. You go to the market. You go start from scratch, or you go to the vendor, go to the restaurant, and buy something that's ready made. All we have in this slide here is the starting from scratch. What we have in the slide towards is going to the market and just buying. In this session, I'll go through each of them, and the major reason I want to go through both of them is so that I've been talking about how I don't want to start cooking from scratch from the beginning, and it's important that this you see how stressful it is for me to build the computer vision solution from scratch. Okay, so the ability to use filters to apply effect to images is useful so basically when you do computer vision from scratch, you have to have in-depth knowledge of image processing, in-depth knowledge, and you have to work with pixels. You have to work with Pillow. Pillow is a Python it's PIL actually. I've forgotten the Python image processing something of sorts. But basically, it is Python's image processing third-party library. Okay, And if you're working with Azure, all that is abstracted from it. You're not going to send that. Um, CNN, CNN, yeah, it's not cable news network. It's convolutional neural networks, and fundamentally in our brains, we have something called neurons. A neural network is a machine learning concept, and it builds on the architecture or the configuration of our brains. The way our brain is modeled is how we are modeling a neural network or a machine learning model. It's also a so most image classification systems are deep learning models, and neural network is a deep learning model, and convolutional neural network is a type of neural network. I hope you get that. So convolutional neural network is a type of neural network. Neural networks generally are associated with deep learning, and then deep learning is a subset of machine learning, which is then a subset of artificial intelligence. I mean, you got that. So for image classification, the label represents the if I wanted to let's say I have let me work with the classifying dog and cats instance I gave earlier on. If I was to classify between dogs and cats, what I need to get is I need to get pictures of dogs. So many pictures of a dog. Label them, this is a dog, 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 this is a dog. And I'll get so many images of a cat, and I'll be like, okay, my brother. I'll let you know cats. I'll now feed it to that model that I've told you about these guys. Oh, yeah, now learn by yourself. So learn by itself and then now make decisions similar to the way humans make decisions with the brain through neurons. So a neural network is a network of neurons, as you imagine, okay? And based on that, that's why we have this whole thing going on. Each circle here is a node, and then each line that goes from one node to another node, there's a mathematical equation under the function that's working for each line, each connection between this node and this node, this and this node, this and every single node. And that's exactly what the neural network is. So we see that we've gone from this. I think the instance given here is their foots. I was given the cat and dog instance. We have foots here. Going from this to this. That's exactly what the neural network does. And obviously, what we have here is a graphical representation, is a pictorial representation. However, in the real sense of it, there's a lot of code that goes in here. You start using things like TensorFlow, things like PyTorch for you to make this a reality. Which is why I said it's extremely grueling, or yeah, grueling for you to get this done. Similarly, people talk about transformers and transformer, neural network, multinodal models. They are all core concepts, or not even core concepts. They are advanced concepts in machine learning model. Now, what Azure AI does, because that's the focus of this session, at the risk of I don't want to get distracted by machine learning and the advanced parts of it. Going back to Azure AI, right? What Azure AI does for you basically is that it abstracts every single thing we have here. These guys have talked about all year, thus far, just doesn't matter. It's Azure AI, and all you just need to do is similar to the way I created a resource earlier on. You create a resource. Having created a resource, this resource is then able to make computer vision solutions. So let's work with this. I really like this. I really like this. I really like this. Okay. So yeah, let's just walk through each of the models and then we'll talk about them in general. I realized I actually didn't finish this other one. Let me create this translation model all over again. And I'll just show you how you can access, how you can authenticate your Azure service. Give me a second. All right, so now that that's been done. No, it's not done actually. Now that it's in the process of getting created. That's why you have this notification here. It's still getting created, okay. But while that's going on, let's just pick it back to the Azure AI vision. So I'll talk about each service and what they do. Okay. So the very first service is an optical character recognition. What an optical character recognition service does is that imagine I'm in school now and I went for a class, one of my engineering classes. I wrote notes in the class with my hand and a notebook. Thereafter, the lecturer tells me, The class ends by 10 a.m. and he tells me, Salim, I want that note you just wrote now. I want it typed and submitted to my office in an hour. Typed, printed, and submitted. So I have to, what I've written with my hand, I have to type it down immediately. You'd imagine that that would be quite the, I mean, I think it's possible in an hour, depending on the length of the notes. However, with optical character recognition, I don't need to do that. I'll just take a picture of that note. I'll have built an Azure service here, and then to just convert the notes that is handwritten. My handwriting is not very good, but then Azure service can handle bad handwritings, okay? As long as it's legible enough for anyone to make sense out of it. And then to then take that handwriting, that handwritten notes rather, and then to convert into text. So what it does basically is that it extracts text from images. Let's say I took an image of a building or something of the sorts, and that building has a long text. I can take out the text in that building. The building is the image. I can take out the text from the image. That's what optical character recognition, as name implies, you can recognize characters from an optical source. Then you can also generate captions and descriptions for images. I think I noticed that recently with Microsoft PowerPoint. If you try to add an image to PowerPoint, it's meant to add an image. It should tell you what is an image. So let's say I take a building, or I take a picture of a bungalow or a story building or a skyscraper. I paste the image, I insert image on PowerPoint to immediately bring out the caption. What is working under the hood is the Azure AI Vision Service. Detection of thousands of common objects in an image. I take an image, there are a lot of things that are going on here, perhaps a picture of my room. Azure service can tell you, okay, that's a bed out there, that's a shoe rack there, that's a school bag, that's a laptop, that's a mirror, can tell you all of that. Now you can also then tag visual features in an image, similar to the detecting. You can then tag it, okay, X and Y is happening here, A and B is going on there. And see, you have this image. When you see this image, first thing that comes to your mind is there's a guy and he's on a skateboard. So you describe this as a man jumping on a skateboard. That's what Azure Vision would describe this what's going on here as. Detecting common objects and image. What are the common objects in this image? We have a skateboard, right? And then you have a person. So it also comes an accuracy score. There is a 90% confidence that that's a skateboard, and a 95% accuracy that that's a person and not a gorilla or something. Similarly, when you look at this picture, what comes to mind? What are the things, the tags, the subject matter when you look at this, okay? And here we have sports. Skating is a sport, so we have 99%. There's a person there. There's a footwear going on there. There's a board sports. It recognizes that there's a wall there. There's a clothing item there. Balance is important there. Street stunts. See them, individual sports and whatnot. Thereafter, I would like to talk about custom models. We talked about these simple models that just come. So now, custom model is when you go to that kitchen I'm talking about, the vendor that creates things. When I go to that vendor, I tell the vendor that, okay, I want you to make me amala and spaghetti because that's what me I like. It's custom made for me. It's not exactly applicable to everyone else. Everyone goes there and eats amala and ewedu. But me, I said, no. In my own village where I'm from, all we eat is amala and spaghetti. So I want you to make that. That's exactly what's making the custom model is. The vendors are still the one that will cook the food. Similarly, Azure will still be the one to cook the model. However, I'm telling them what I want. Okay, we'll use at the risk of running an ad for Dangote, use Dangote spaghetti. That's what I want. Okay, we'll use amala lafu. I don't want regular amala. Do you get what I'm saying? Like that's exactly what it means to build a custom. Like the when you have custom, not when you have custom. When you hear the word custom, what comes to mind is custom made. I have a custom made car. It's just made for Salim. You get what I'm saying? Custom made footwear that's just made for Abdullah. You get what I'm saying? So similarly, a custom made model is a model that is built such that it can have computer vision characteristics. That's the ability to see things, right? However, it is custom made for just your use case. Just my amala and ewedu, sorry, my amala and spaghetti. That's all it's made for. So I can have a custom made model where I'll give it a lot of pictures of bananas, a lot of pictures of apples, a lot of pictures of oranges, and I'll be like, okay, now classify this one. I'll not give you now. That's a custom made model. Obviously, you can also have object section. When it's an image, okay, that is a banana right there. This one right here, that is orange, circular. And looks like I think that's an orange. And then this one is red. It looks like an apple. You get what I'm saying? And that's exactly what computer vision implies. So back to this demo I was talking about earlier on. The deployment has been completed. Once this is done, what you want to do is you want to go to the source. Let's go to the source. And you come to key points and endpoints, keys and endpoints. And let me show you the keys. This right here, these two keys here, obviously I'll delete this by the time this so someone not gonna use my Azure service. But basically I'll delete this resource afterwards. But basically this pin or these keys, that's what that's your pin. That's what is unique to my own Azure resource. And I can copy this, and in my application, this is my means of identification. This is my means of identification in my own application. And that's exactly what authentication means. And I reckon that with this, I think we're almost coming to an end of this Azure resource. Okay, we're not actually. Sorry, we're not shopping. All right, so let's go to the next slide. Give me a second, please. Okay, this is the Azure exercise. For the sake of time, I don't think I'll go through this. But fundamentally, what you're doing here is no more than analyzing images. You'd go to your Azure Studio, Azure Vision Studio, and instead of you putting it in the code, you interface with your models using a GUI. A GUI is a graphical user interface. Okay, just a simple, how do I put it? Just something you can interact with, like an actual. You're not writing code or anything of the sorts. And next thing is knowledge check, which I'll leave to everyone here. I don't think I want to do that. And I think with that, we've come to an end of this entire module. These two modules, rather. Okay. Just a little recap on what these two modules imply. So give me a second, please. The first module is okay. Give me a second. It's fundamentals of Azure AI service. We started from defining what AI is and what Azure AI does. I drew parallels with the distribution companies you have here in Nigeria with your prepaid meter. After having done that, I then talked about how the cloud service runs in a similar pattern. I also drew parallel with how your vendor, perhaps if I wanted to have an event, if you're still on the University of Lagos, you should be familiar with okay, even if you're not, you probably know Korede Spag. Now that means Korede that okay, oh, Mr. Korede, I have an event. I want you to instead of me going to the kitchen and making my spark from scratch, I ask him, make the spark for me, okay? That's what Azure Service does. Instead of me going to markets, buying spaghetti, buying this one, that one, chicken and whatnot, it abstracts all that process away from me, and it is done by the service itself. And thereafter, I talk about computer vision. Computer vision, as I explained, is no more than giving your computer the ability to see. It can see, and it can once it can see, um obviously your computer does not have biological abilities, so only with computer vision can you give it the ability to see. And when you can see things, you can make decisions, you can decipher what it means. I've seen this image. When I see, and for instance, look at my screen here, I can see, and because I can see, that's why I know that there's a color black here, there's a color blue here. This here reads fundamentals of Azure AI service, and we have module here. That's because I can see and I can make sense of what I'm seeing. I touched a bit on neural networks. That's the process that Azure computer vision is abstracting, is taken away from my cognizance. Okay, I touched on that as well, and I think with that I've come to an end. Once again, I'd like to thank Abdullah for the amazing work he's doing with impacting people in the AI space, creating knowledge based on Azure AI. It's amazing what you're doing once again, and thank you for so much for inviting me. Thanks for having me, and yeah, thank you very much. I hope I've done justice to the modules. I'll start presenting now.
Yeah, I mean, like Salim, can see the screen itself. You can see everybody has just been commenting your explanation. Salim, your explanation is too good. Somebody else said best explanation I've heard up till now. Like, so this is not even me, right? This is even me. So like, it's just amazing. Like, I mean, I myself have taken the exam, but listening to you give this explanation is even still
Yeah, I don't,
opening things up to me. There's no,
thank you very
this thing. Look at the screen. Look at the screen. I've never messed
much.
around before. I've never spoken around before. You can see all of them. All of them are, really, really commenting.
Nah, thanks so much.
See, so
Thanks
her
so much for having
also,
me.
also thank, right.
Thanks so much.
So
Again, I can't really stress enough
is
how amazing what you're doing is. It is really, really amazing. Well done.
yeah. So like, thank you so much because these explanations have like really been good. I think I'll just follow your lead on, making a shot or two from this video. I'll follow your lead. So let me see. We said we're going to play a little game to end. Let's think we said we're going to play a little game to end the session. So tell us some three misconceptions or misconceptions that you usually hear about AI or funny things you usually hear about AI or generally anything around that share. Any fun thing you feel like telling us or something around that.
Okay, okay. Let me see. I think the first one is misconceptions about AI. I think the very big one is AI taking our jobs. I hear that a lot. AI will take our jobs. I think there's a bit of truth to that. However, it's not entirely true. And here's what I mean. You're familiar with the automated teller ATMs, right? Before the ATM came, what we used to have in the bank is you have a cashier at the front and you have some set of guys sitting at the back. Those guys are the people that are sitting at the back. They'll be like, when I get to the bank, I want to withdraw X, I want to withdraw 10,000. Okay, I'll go there and be like, good afternoon. I'll talk to the cashier. I want to withdraw this money. The person at the back, you then go to my file, check my balance, right? And then check, okay, this is the amount you have. You have sufficient fund for that. Okay, are you with me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, so basically, with the advent of automated teller machines, those guys were out of jobs, right? However, the cashiers still have jobs. So basically, the idea is if you're able to evolve with AI, if you're able to learn these AI tools, right? If you're able to learn these AI tools, ultimately, you realize that AI will not take your jobs. So the big thing is the onus is on each and every one of us to build capacity in AI because AI is here to stay. I promise you, the investments Nvidia has, the money that goes into open AI, what Microsoft is doing, AI is not leaving anytime soon. It will be here to stay. So I think the biggest misconception is thinking AI will take our jobs. No, the key point to note about that is that AI is not going to take our jobs. However, the onus is on each and every one of us to go with AI, to embrace it, such that we can build with AI. Um, let's assume I'm a business and I choose not to have a website in 2024. My business will suffer. That's just it. I mean, not maybe not suffer, but then because I don't have a website, I've limited my business. So the onus is on us to, similar to the internet evolution, we have the AI evolution now. So if you don't evolve, you'll be left behind, and then maybe you might lose a job. But then I'm glad we already have events like this where Abdullah is keen on educating us on AI. So if you're on these events, you won't lose a job. Okay. Another misconception I get is this is interesting. I think with this one is as regards Azure AI. So, and comes from machine learning engineers most times because if I were to build a model that will do something with Azure AI, it should be I can build an application with Azure AI in a couple of minutes. I just create a resource like I just did now. I get the endpoints, put it in my Flask app, and everybody's happy. With machine learning, if I can get a H5 file or perhaps a Pico file or whatever where I'm saving my model, if I can get that done and have a good model that's not hallucinating, it take a long time. Feature engineering can be feature engineering can be annoying. I'm like I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. It can be annoying. And despite it being annoying, with Azure AI, all of that goes. Like you're not just doing that no more, like it just lives. So now there's a little misconception that, oh, it's too easy, it's too X and Y. I feel like as problem solvers, I mean, I want it easy now. I mean, what do you think? The goal is to have it easy. You get that? So why am I resisting ease? Why am I being like I don't want it to be easy? Literally, as a problem solver, as an engineer, my job is to make life easy for you. By definition of what AI is, it is to make life easy for you. So I think that's also another misconception that I personally find funny. Finally, let me think about this. I don't know if this is a misconception, but when I spoke to Ifion on Beyond the Classroom, Ifion talked about this. So in AI space, getting an AI job, the idea is that the 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 barrier for entry, or the entry barrier, is extremely high. The entry barrier is extremely high, and because it is high, for instance, if you wanted to get an internship in the ML space, you need to have a master's degree or you need to have a PhD on the way. So what happens to me, a fourth year engineering student here at the University of Lagos? What happens to me is I could contribute with open source. So people say the barrier entry is high, but I know a couple of guys that have gotten amazing jobs in the AI ML space, and then these guys have not seen they don't have a BSc yet. They were probably your final year at the points. They're doing amazing things. Um, Two names come to mind. There's Joseph Olaide. There's Fortuna Dekogbe. They're doing amazing things in the AI space, and they're not done with the degree. So the notion that the entry barrier for AI is extremely high, I find that a bit, you know, I'm not sure it's a misconception because I still have there's a part of me that still believes it's really high, to be honest, but I don't have a job yet. So it's still not me to say it's not high because I'm jobless, okay? However, I think it's not as high as people make it to seem. Okay, it's extremely it's a reality. As well with things like Azure, you could work as an AI Azure consultant at companies, and you don't have to have a PhD for that to happen. I mean, I don't have a PhD, Abdullah doesn't have a PhD, and we're getting this done. And people on the call now, they already have that knowledge, and I'm not sure, but I don't think they have a PhD. Okay, so I think it's like the misconception from me. That AI will take our jobs, that Azure AI is too difficult, and that the entry, the barrier entry for AI is too high. I don't think that's true. So yeah, it's like misconception.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely understand and agree with you with everything. It's the three misconceptions that you put forward for us, and you really explained everything. I think to just add, there's a YouTuber that I usually like, and when you were speaking, something that I usually says or something that I said came to mind. Shane Young. So he's into Power Platform, yeah, but because AI is just like into everything right now, right? So like even mentioned PowerPoint, you mentioned something about PowerPoint, some AI
Yeah,
integrations, even into
honestly,
PowerPoint.
yeah.
Yeah, you can imagine. So yeah, so yeah, Power Platform and AI. So there are a lot of things like Copilot. Copilot is the one that probably almost everybody should have heard about to some extent because it's even on Windows and everything right now. Yeah.
Right.
So what he just said once that just really stuck with me was that that perhaps AI won't take your job, but Salim using AI is going to take your job.
Yeah, you would do.
So
I
a
will take
person
your. I'm after
using
your job.
AI
Tell
is
them.
going to take your job, if not the AI itself. Abio. So yeah, I
Right, right.
think let me post the link. So I've just put the link to Salim's Beyond the Classroom series. We have 2 episodes out right now and more on the way. Really amazing stories, really fantastic, rich, really great job my guy is doing. So you guys, please
Thank you very much.
let's go check that out. I promise it's going to be a great watch. Yeah. So
Thank you
thanks
very
so much,
much.
Salim, for doing this. Thanks so much
Yeah,
for
yeah.
being with
Thanks so much for
us.
having me.
And
Okay, so
uh,
it's
yeah,
been a
yeah,
while
it's
since I
it's it's, it's
watched
really
on
been a
Azure AI,
pleasure.
to be honest. It's quite refreshing doing this.
Yeah, yeah. I know that you're doing you're
It was
working
amazing
as
just
an electrical
continuing this.
engineer now.
Oh, it's a lot. But yeah, it's amazing doing this. Just regaining my memory and touching on it as well. I should try to delete my the resource I created just now. But yeah, thank you very much. It was amazing having this conversation with you. And I'm rooting for everyone that's writing their AI 900 exam soon. wishing you the best of luck, wishing you success as well.
Yeah. All right.
All
Thanks so much,
right.
everyone. Thanks, Salim. Thanks, everyone, for watching, for commenting, for interacting with us. You can always share to your friends if you feel this session has been beneficial, right? And yeah, you can connect with Salim on LinkedIn. You can see his name, Salim Oyinlola. He's a star boy, but I believe
I beg.
he would take time to reach back out to you. Hmm. Right. So, yeah, my name is Abdullah as well. So you can always reach out to me as well if you need anything more. Yeah. So next week we're going to have our last session for AI April. I don't want to say the person's name that we're going to be having, yeah, but like, because my guys they agreed to me, they won't know one, but Bumisha. Let me go and negotiate with Bumi. I already mentioned it to her before, but I've not secured it. So let me not say she's going to
For
come
me, yeah.
because yeah, because
Ah, jeez.
Bumi is a busy
That's my
woman.
boss.
Let me not promise she's going to come. Let me not promise she's going to come, but yeah, definitely. This session has been really great. Last week we had Samuel, this week we have Salim. So like I really appreciate you. These are my gold ambassadors that I'm pulling up for you guys. My gold ambassadors are machine learning engineers. Like it's not easy. It's not easy. Yeah. So
I
Yeah,
beg.
April. Yeah, April is the
All done my
theme.
bro.
Just simplifying AI for everyone, giving everybody this fundamental knowledge of AI that everybody, I believe everybody needs to have it. Actually, everybody should know a little, a few things. I actually really believe in this that everybody should have this fundamental knowledge, really just
Yeah.
fundamentals. You're not going too deep. Just understand a few things about how all of this works. Because yesterday I was just busy playing around with Meta AI. That's into WhatsApp now, and everybody's going to start playing around with that. So I believe you should just have a little. So that's just the whole purpose of this AI Pro. So just give you this little background knowledge of how all of this works, right? So that's what AI Pro is all about. That's the message that we're preaching. We had Samuel last week. We had Salim this week. Hopefully, you have me next week to round out the live sessions. And so, you guys, let's finish the keep learning, keep completing the modules on the learning challenge, and we'll have one last live session, which promises to be a banger. I mean, it's going to be difficult to top Salim because this has been really enjoyable. But and hopefully, we'll have
Trust in
Salim
you.
back on the channel at some other time. Hopefully, I'll have Salim back on my channel at another time if he's going to
I
honor
would
our
love to.
invitation. But yeah, all right, everyone. So keep learning, keep building, and thanks for listening. And bye, everyone.